Well, my name's Kevin. I've been an accountant and a CPA for 17, 18 years. Practiced in Virginia a number of years and currently in Cumberland, Maryland. Been watching the show, I don't know, maybe 90 days, 100, probably somewhere 90, 100 days, and kind of just been following it, and I've kind of already been clued into a lot of the way the deep state works and a lot of things that most people don't know or follow. And then when we started talking about, Andy McCabe and Jill McCabe running, I was researching articles and came across the articles and started looking at it closer and found, well, this information is available publicly, who the donors were and how much they gave. And so I started looking at it, and as I looked at it, I found more and more connections either to the, longtime donors of the Clintons or people tied to the McCulloughs, but obviously people who wouldn't normally be giving large sums of money to a first-time political candidate in a state Senate race that's in a new district, in a district that the Republicans won the last 5 or 6 times. And so as I did that, I kind of was trying to get my mind around it. My natural instinct as an accountant is to kind of accumulate that data in accounting software, and so that's what I did. My employment, I've worked as an auditor, I've worked as a tax accountant, I've served as a legal expert in fraud cases and audit fraud cases, worked with healthcare providers, kind of worked for big firms, small firms myself, done consulting, done a lot of different things, and so this isn't, what we're talking about here isn't really that complicated other than it's bookkeeping of the records of someone's campaign that they disclose publicly. And so when I did that, that's, I got in touch with you, I guess, a couple of weeks ago before everything kind of happened in Zanesville, and then, because of that, we kind of had some time here, but I'm glad we're getting back to kind of get this information out, because the number that keeps getting tossed around publicly is that, McCullough gave Dr. Jill McCabe $675,000 to run for state senate, but based on my calculations, it's nearly double that, and nearly 75% of the money she got for her whole campaign. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it.
And you put all this information into QuickBooks, right, to be able to spit reports out, and you're open to people challenging it and making modifications as we go and to get to the total correct number, right?
Correct, absolutely. It's in QuickBooks, and it can easily be changed if we find, like I say, someone that I've listed as connected to the Clintons or McCulloughs actually are best friends with Dr. Jill, and so, I don't want to say we're wrong here, but I've tried my best to make these connections that are, pretty obvious when someone gives you a $20,000 check that's also on the National Finance Committee for Hillary Clinton. Even if you just include the PACs that are under the control of McCullough, not just the main two that account for the $675,000, but all the Senate campaign PACs that he's in charge of in Virginia, and can easily call up that state senator and say, hey, move some more money over to this one. So, even if you just include those, it's more money than the 675.
Yeah, and so, the problem here is when you are the person who is in charge of the Hillary server investigation, you're the person who's in charge of the Huma investigation, you're also the person in charge, or should be in charge, of the Awan brothers investigation, right? That is a huge amount of money to be transferring to this family. There is a ethics law on a quarterly basis where these public servants have to sign and say, it says specifically, did you or your wife or your children accept more than $200 this quarter? In any kind of gift of any kind, please describe on the lines below. That's what the form says. Now, I believe $675,000 goes above that $200 limit, plus all these other PAC gifts. This is just an obvious way to get money to someone who's in charge of your investigation. And the fact that Comey buried this, that Hillary wasn't under investigation when actually she was by the field office in March 2015, buried it until other field offices opened up investigations in October of 2015, knew full well that they had the data backup of all the emails on October 15th, led everyone on to waiting for all the judicial watch FOIAs to finally getting all the emails on July 5th. So this is a subterfuge of the American people in the judicial process. It's not only a dishonest and a suppression of the truth of the way these investigations are supposed to be done, but it's also a gross acceptance of a bribe. There's just no two ways about it. It's pay to play. On top of that, this man had to be brought to the Senate today by Senator Grassley, and they specifically said, you ordered surveillance on this American citizen, right? And you unmasked his name. Why have you not recused yourself? You were recorded in a meeting, according to True Pundit, that said, F Flynn, and then we're going to F Trump. Why would you not recuse yourself from that investigation? Mr. McCabe's response was to just drop and clear Michael Flynn today. Okay? Not say I'm sorry, not say I'm going to recuse myself and bring in another person. Just, he doesn't even want to establish the precedent of recusal, which, you know, Jeff Sessions did, you know, with the Russian investigation almost the first day, even without talking to Trump. So that's the big story here, that this is brazen now. It's gone to the point where we don't even care what you think. I can order up surveillance anytime I want on any private citizen. We went through this with Robin Gritz at DIA, where he ordered up surveillance on her. It's just basically, it's open game. It's fair game on anybody. And this, I've been dealing with this guy since 2010, since his fake terrorism in the Muslim kid that with the 3 different informants. I've been dealing with this guy since 2010, since the Portland Christmas tree bombing. It's always fake. It's always intimidation of anybody with any information. It's always destruction of evidence, over and over and over, ever since that day. So I wanted to make sure I got that out before, with this $1.2 million, before we started talking about the smaller amounts. Now, I know there's no moral equivalence here, but is there anything you'd like to add to that at this point, Kevin, that I missed?
No, other than like you said, I mean, it's his responsibility to disclose this. It's his responsibility to recuse himself. You know, a plausible argument to be made that the governor would do this with any state senator, and maybe, you know, his wife, you know, Dr. McCabe was the best candidate. You know, but at least at that point he needs to disclose it and recuse himself from these investigations, because it's clearly an ethical issue. And so, you know, that's kind of my general feelings of it. You know, then we can kind of get into the specifics of how I got to where we got, you know, and what got included and so forth.
So we're going to save that drill down on the spreadsheet to a future version, and we're going to go through it with me and you first, so we can do that. So this will be more of a kind of a continuing series where we'll get into that. I just want to say thank you for right now. We're going to bring Trish in with another story, but thank you very much for preparing the documents. We'll post the documents. Jason at Crowdsource the Truth?
Yeah, I'm going to post the documents on Crowdsource the Truths. I'm going to post it on the Crowdsource the Truth Facebook page and on Reddit. I've got a new way of blocking trolls, George. And
okay, good. Okay, well, Jason's excited. He's got a new way to block.
The AI is
strong
obviously,
AI.
It's obviously programmed to infect the chat, so I've figured out a way to block them from not in the chat.
Okay, Kevin, thank you very much for your contribution, sir.
Okay, well, George?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
You know, if people want to look into this and start checking the information, there's a site that's for the Virginia, you know, political contributions and political activity. That's bpat.org or bpat.com. Then at the federal level, there's the FEC.com, and you can go on there and you can go find, you know, Dr. Jill McCabe's campaign and see who her donors were, and start looking for the connections yourself.
Yeah. And this isn't anything to impugn Dr. Jill McCabe. She's obviously a wonderful doctor.
Absolutely.
She's a wonderful doctor, and her patients love her, and I think she's a good candidate, and I want to see her run under fair rules for everybody. That's all. And the fact that he also did campaign stops at mosques for her, is just a little bit more sand in the eye to the people of Virginia and really the people of the United States. I mean, you're a paid public servant, and that really is not your job to weigh in on local political races.
It's prohibited.
It's specifically prohibited. Yeah. So at that point, I think we'll transition to Trish because she's got her story that she's got lined up. So thank you very much, Kevin. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thanks. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.